I was visiting this couple in the neonatal unit at the hospital. Their son had been born with some serious complications, and the doctors didn't know if he was going to make it. Now, the neonatal unit, it's these large rooms, and about every 10 feet are these clear plastic boxes, and in each one of them are these tiny babies. I mean, some of them are 3 and 4 pounds, and they're fighting for their lives. And I stood over the clear plastic box that had this couple's son in it, and he's got these tubes and wires coming out of his chest and his stomach and his mouth and his nose, and I prayed and I asked God to heal him. And then I found out later that all kinds of people were praying for him, and he hung on for a little while, but he didn't make it, and he died. And then soon after that, I ran into this woman that I've known for quite a while, and she told me that her granddaughter had just been diagnosed with this rare heart condition that not very many babies survive. And so the family all started praying, and then they took her in for another round of tests. And after that round of tests, the doctor said to the family, I can't really explain it. I mean, I'm an authority on this particular rare heart condition, and I don't know what else to say, but I can't find anything wrong with her. She's healed. What do you do with that? I mean, does God answer prayers? Some, but not all? Or sometimes, but not all the time? Or does God always answer prayers? It just sometimes God says no. And sometimes people say, well, we prayed and then God showed up and did a miracle. Well, then where was God the rest of the time? Was God somewhere else doing something else and then apparently decided to show up here and do something that hadn't been done but should have been done? Then God all of a sudden at the last minute decided to do? I mean, no wonder prayer gets confusing. And other people say, well, you just have to understand that God is going to do what God is going to do. Well, then why pray? And others say, well, you don't understand. God can do anything. Well, then why doesn't he? Now, the biblical accounts of Jesus' life tell us that on the night he was betrayed, he was in the garden with his disciples praying. And it's in the hours leading up to his arrest, and then he's going to be tried as a criminal, and then he's going to be executed. And he's feeling the full weight of what's about to happen to him, because he knew it was headed this way. So he's enduring the suffering of his coming death, and he begins to pray, and he prays, Father, if it's possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not what I will, but your will. He essentially likens his death to a cup that he doesn't want to drink. I mean, who would? And then he prays a little while later, if it's not possible for this cup to be taken from me, then may it be done according to your will. So in the first prayer, he essentially says, is there some way out of this? I don't really want to go through this. Is there some other plan here? And then the second prayer is more like, well, I guess this is going to happen. Nothing I can do to stop it. So I'm up for whatever you have in mind. Now, to understand why Jesus prays like this, we have to understand that Jesus took very seriously the creation poem, Genesis, that the Bible begins with. And in this creation poem, God creates, but God creates things that are capable of creating more. And so God creates trees, but then gives trees the ability to create more. God creates animals and plants and fish, but then empowers them to create more. And then God creates people and gives them the ability to create more. So everything in creation is essentially unfinished. God leaves the world unfinished and invites people to take part in the ongoing creation of the world. Now, when you create, you always run the risk that what you've created won't turn out how you wanted it to. It may go a different direction. It may not be everything you intended it to be. It may veer off course, and it may break your heart. And so this creative energy, this divine creative energy that brought everything into existence, it takes great risk in creating, but at the same time, it works in a very specific way. It brings order out of chaos. So the Genesis creation poem says that it was wild and waste, chaos and void, and out of this, God began the endless process of bringing design and order and beauty. And so when Jesus prays, he's tapping into this divine creative energy that made everything.